and ripped his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. I'm the best ever.
Before I ask you anything, besides this MMA shit, you also have the Real Deal Dip Company. I got 3 dips off you last Super Bowl. I ate them all. Seriously, I ate them all. I'm not just saying. I got the Cowboy Dip, the sweet and spicy. Your Buffalo's ridiculous, though. I ran out of chips, and I did some fat fuck shit. Like, I had crackers. My wife ate all the crackers, and I actually went under the cabinet, the snack cabinet, and I pulled out, cookies. Just so I had something to put in a dip. It was fucking completely disgusting. Nothing you would know with the fighter diet. But I just wanted a reason to keep eating the buffalo dip. I was sucking my fingers for like 40 minutes. How's the dip company going? And do you make the dips personally, or does the wife make them?
Nah, I make them all personally. It's going pretty good right now with the company itself. Right now we're through the stage of trying to get it through just all testing and stuff like that. See how long it takes to get on the shelves of supermarkets and all. So right now, everything on that end is going pretty well.
Do you got a plan for distribution, or?
Yeah, that's the plan right now to get everything, certified, stuff like that. Once we get distribution, hopefully get right in supermarkets.
Matt's here to talk about beating people up, and we started with fucking dip. I'm sorry, buddy. The dip's good, though. Have you had it?
That's all right.
You had the buffalo?
Oh, beautiful. I love the sweet and spicy. Is probably my best so far.
Sweet and spicy is good.
Yes.
All right, let's start with Anthony. Revolution Academy, to me, is the equivalent of that small school in the NCAA tournament that every year stuns a few of the top seeds and goes real deep into the tournament. Your fighters are very well coached, and your school gives everyone special attention. Anthony, when you started Revolution, was that one of your goals?
My goal is always to watch it, give 100% to my students. Give everything I have. I want to produce champions. I want to produce winners. We have a lot of good guys come out of there. Just myself, my other coaches that help me. We have a good stable of guys, fighters, coaches, just good people around us to help us keep growing. And like I said, it's not all me with all the credit. I gotta give credit to everyone who helps. And we're gonna keep going from there. Keep building.
Can you tell us a little bit about your BJJ background? Because you're also a black belt yourself.
Yes, I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I've been training since 2001. My black belt's under Rigo Menderes and Tony Rachensky. You
also competed in Nagas, and you've done a whole bunch of different grappling tournaments.
Yeah, I competed a lot. Competed a lot back in the past. Last tournament was just the Boston Open. I do a lot of CBJJ tournaments, going to California competing and stuff. CBJ tournaments are probably like one of the highest levels of jiu-jitsu tournaments you can do. So it just feels appropriate, especially as a coach nowadays. You have to compete. You have to let your students know what it feels like. Go out and step on that mat, and just let them know that what the feelings they're going to have. A lot of people don't compete anymore. A lot of people haven't competed at all. I think as a coach, you have to compete. You have to compete. You have to show your guys, you're the leader of the team. You got to go out there, win or lose.
We also got Matt Rizzo. Matt knows wrestling like the fucking cake boss knows icing. You're a decorated high school wrestler.
Yes, sir.
You wrestled for Harry Truman in Levittown, and then Lakewood High?
Lakewood, New Jersey.
Okay. Was Lakewood first or second?
Harry Truman was my first one.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're representing Levittown. That's my hood.
Yes, sir.
At Truman, you were a sectional champion.
Yes, sir.
District runner-up.
Yep.
A region place winner.
Yep.
Then you got that gun charge and transferred to Lakewood. No, I'm just Matt didn't get a gun charge.
No, not at all. Education-wise, that's why we moved to Lakewood. So for better education, be able to graduate high school and go on to college. So that's the reason why I went to Lakewood High School.
Truman now is like in the top 10.
Yeah, they're ranked pretty high this year. So it's amazing. Back in the day when I was there, they were by far the lowest of the food chain, but I went there, transferred out for education-wise, and moved to my coach, Mr. Damian Hahn. Miles Hahn, his father was my coach for all my life, and his son was a 2-time national champion. So I had the best coaches in the whole world, basically. So
you became a 2-time District 24 champ at Lakewood.
Yes.
2-time Regional 6 champ. You recorded 5th place finishes at the NJSIAA tournament.
Yep. I placed twice in states. Yes, I did.
Overall record 137-11.
Yes, sir.
So would you lose like every 6 months or something like that?
Most likely, yeah. Actually, more like my freshman year I lost. Junior, senior year I lost maybe twice, maybe once in my whole last 2 seasons. So it's basically my sophomore, my freshman year I lost most of the time.
In high school, do you kind of have your eye on MMA, or did you?
I never knew it. Actually, never knew about MMA until I actually graduated high school. And I came back to Levittown, moved back to my parents' house for about 2-3 months, and came to Revolution. Was teaching wrestling there for a while. Then Anthony and Tony as well showed me the art of jiu-jitsu. Ever since then, I started doing jiu-jitsu first. Then I moved into MMA. So
How did you link up with Anthony?
Well, I knew his wife for a very long time. Her wife's father was my first wrestling coach ever at Blue Knights Wrestling. Ever since then, actually, when I met her, met the whole family. Anthony had his own gym, so she told me to come check it out, and her brother as well too, John Denny. So I came in, checked it out, and that's all she wrote.
So you trained with Anthony. How long before you actually decided to take your first fight?
It was probably the first summer actually. First summer, he trained for about like 2-3 months of jiu-jitsu. Went out to California. I won Pan Ams as a white belt. So we trained about good 4 months, hard, learning the art of jiu-jitsu, the basics and stuff like that. Went all the way, flew out to California, won the Pan Ams to be one of the biggest tournaments out there. And ever since then, we just started training at MMA.
So you trained with Anthony. You start to develop your BJJ game.
Yes.
Finally, on October 21st, 2011, you're staring across the cage at John Michael Holland, your first ever fight at Locked in the Cage 9.
Yes.
So honestly, before that bell rings, and you wanted to get into this, when that cage closes and it's just you and your opponent now, are you wondering what you got yourself into, or are you just ready to go?
Well, I always had the killer instinct. Throughout my career wrestling and stuff like that, I was known as the bad boy, because not many people liked me, and I had quite attitude about how I came about things. And really, it's just another fight. I'm from Levittown, suburbs of Philadelphia, so we always had to survive out here. Either fighting with my brothers, fighting my teammates, fighting my friends were all wrestlers, so it was always a battle all through my life. So it doesn't make a difference if I stepped in a cage or I stepped outside. So.
Let me also say something like, my Philly people probably aren't going to want to hear this, but when I was in high school, we used to kind of look at the suburb kids as punks. We used to kind of like, we go on these missions, we meet these chicks at the Chamonix Mall or whatever, end up back in Ben Salem or somewhere,
yeah.
Fuck with these girls, and then it'd be like, well, her boyfriend's coming over, and we always used to clown the guys and all that. Like, suburb kids will fuck you up now. Like, suburb kids are MMA fighters and shit.
We're well trained, and we got the money to train, so that's why we're maybe a lot better than they are, so.
Luckily, I found that out after I was doing that, because I would have hated to get like choked out by a kid half my size on some chick's rug or something.
Especially if you came around my area. My crew was all wrestlers, so you didn't want to mess with us. We'll just take you down, beat you up, and send you on your way back to Philadelphia.
Yeah, everyone avoided.
We used to go to the city actually to beat up people, so it was actually fun. Yeah.
I'm glad we never bumped into each other.
That's good. Good for you.
So you win by a decision. And a few months later, you get your first stoppage with a win over Andrew Aguilar. You tapped him with a rear naked choke. Are you thinking about going pro at this point, or are you enjoying your AMI career at this particular point?
Before I actually fought John Michael Holland, I had 2 fights previous. It was ground and pound, went down to Virginia and Delaware, which is that's a good start because you want to learn the whole aspect of ground and pound before you actually jump into pro levels. So I did that. Really liked it. I had fought Joe Finnery. He was my first fight ever, which is a well-known wrestler as well too. Beat him by unanimous decision. Then went down to Virginia. Won a, I guess it was combat in a cage, won a belt there, ground and pound. TKO'd him a minute 25 seconds myself. Then I fought John Michael Holland. Then I fought Andrew Aguilar, which I tapped in a minute 35. After that was, why keep fighting amateur anymore? It's time to fight pro and get paid. So that's what our decision is all about.
So speaking of ground and pound rules, Anthony, as a trainer, how do you feel about the new ground striking rules for AMIs?
I think it's good, man, for the AMI, especially, you get 3 or 4 fights on your belt, right there, your coaches, yourself, you're thinking about going pro. Once you go pro, you can't go back to the amateur brackets. So doing the amateur fight, at the ground and pound rules, I think it's excellent, man, right now, because, it kind of sees what you're made of. You don't have it right there, amateur-wise. You do your first fight, you see what happens, you go back to the drawing board. Once you go pro, there's no going back to the drawing boards. It's like, you're a pro level now. Now you're fighting all studs, man. You're fighting high caliber guys at pro level.
Right. So a good reality check for anyone that really wants to get into MMA.
Exactly.
All right, we're going to take our first break. We'll be right back with the Revolution guys, Anthony and Matt Rizzo.
Yeah. Let's go. Boy, I lay it mad. I'm razor sharp. You see me coming for your head, I'ma take it off. I lay it mad. You got to take a loss. You see me coming for your head, I'ma take it off. I break 'em off. I'm razor sharp.
Welcome back. Today on the Sitdown, Anthony Colantuono and Matt Rizzo. For the benefit of people that don't know, Anthony is a master game planner. He'll find a chink in someone's armor and his guys will exploit it to the fullest. Anthony, do you pride yourself on being such a factor in the fight even though you're not actually in the cage?
Exactly, man. It's my job, when we take these fights to, do the research on the guys we're fighting. The fighter's job is to be there training. You know, his mindset is to fight, fight, fight. Like, my game plan is to watch the guy's tapes, watch every tape I have, you know, see if he's a wrestler, see if he's a jiu-jitsu fighter, and kind of watch his tapes and just see what he does wrong. And when we find that out, you know, that's our game plan for right there. You know, we always have a backup game plan. It's always game A. You know, if that doesn't work, we go to plan B. And you know, we keep training, and for 8 weeks, man, that's our game plan. You know, and so far, all the guys that are training, the game plan has worked.
So you're a big YouTube watcher, and you get footage of the guys that Matt and your fighters are going to fight?
Oh, exactly, man. YouTube, you know, Facebook, anything I can find on the social media stuff like that. Like, anybody posting videos of themselves, it's, you know, I watch whatever I can watch.
Yeah, they didn't have that back in the day. I was talking to Jesus Martinez a couple weeks back, and he said he used to just take fights without ever seeing a guy, no pictures or anything like that, just a name. You didn't even know a guy's style back then, so you really had to be prepared for everything. Now with YouTube and Facebook, you can just Google somebody and kind of figure out what type of fighter they are.
Oh yeah, it's definitely hard, man. It was hard back then. You know, we did the same thing for Matt. He kind of takes his tapes off the internet. You know, because we want people watching his tapes, so we don't put a lot of stuff up for him. And you know, it's good for us that people post stuff, and you know, everyone wants their 5 minutes of fame on tail. You know, they get a little knockout and stuff like that. So it's good for us because then we see what they're doing.
Well, with Matt, his hands are getting way better now. His stand-up's getting way better, but his core is still wrestling. So even without the footage, you kind of know, like, I think if you guys still left those tapes up on the internet, Matt Rizzo is still a dynamite wrestler, and if you can't stop that, then just don't sign the contract.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true, you know, for the most part, you know. But, you know, if you watch Matt's tapes lately, if you've been through his fights and all, you kind of see, like, he's just not wrestling. He's putting everything together now. He's becoming a true mixed martial artist.
Yes.
And I'm trying to really, like, not take away from Matt from wrestling, but making him, you know, use his other weapons in his arsenal. And that's the key, you know. You're going to find a guy, you know, we know this, you know, there's going to come a time when Matt fights someone that's going to stop the straight downs for a couple times. And when he does, what do we do from there? We give up, roll over? No, he's a mixed martial artist. He has jiu-jitsu, he has boxing, he has Muay Thai. And that's why you have to keep moving on. You just can't say I'm a one-dimensional fighter here, because there's going to come a time when you fight someone, and you know what? That takedown's not going to be there. It's going to be, man, what do I do from here? So, you know, that's why we train everything every single day. You know, we have different coaches for Muay Thai, for boxing, for wrestling. You know, so when the kind of MMA comes, you know, we put it all together. And this is you know, these are the fighters that come out of Revolution.
Matt's also got a hell of a chin. I know you can't teach a chin, but I've seen Matt, you know, just like any other MMA fighter, he'll get called with 1 or 2 punches, and he just kind of walks through them like some, you know, some Jason Michael Myers shit. He just keeps going. His eyes remain focused, and then he does what he does, and he gets the win. So for Matt Rizzo, you beat a couple guys on the AMI scene. Who decided it was time to go pro? Was it mutual, or is it something Anthony told you should start doing?
We actually sat down together. We actually did we kind of did the math and terminology and figured what we wanted to do with our career. I graduated college in 2011. So once I fought Andrew, whatever his last name is. Aguilar, sorry. That was towards my end of my college career, and I was figuring, let's see what we can do with this. We had to win that fight to actually turn pro. Once we won that fight in, you know, dramatic fashion, we would have tapped out in a minute 35 seconds. Supposedly he's a world-renowned boxer, but I took him down, submitted him like it was nothing. So then we went on and thought about it, and that's what we did. So we talked about it, talked to my parents. You know, my parents involved in my MMA career as well too. They're one of my big supporters, and we actually, you know, had sat down with each other, full conversation, just like we're doing now. We talked to them, and we want to know what can we do, what can happen if we turn pro, what's our highest level, what can we reach, and we figured it's the greatest opportunity for me. And you know, everybody wants to make money, but it's not about money right now. It's about the career and keep building, and the ultimate goal is to get the UFC. So
let's fast forward now. You're pro, you're 2-0, you got 2 submission stoppages.
Yes.
At this point, your confidence has to be sky high. You take that 3rd fight against Matt Lozano, Extreme Cage Combat. Mm-hmm. He catches you with that knee, and that's your first taste of defeat. How bad do you want that fight with Lozano back?
To be honest with you, it really doesn't bother me at all. And I mean, you know, I'm glad I actually lost my career early, because, you know, it'd be a lot more devastating if I lost and I was like 10-0 and I was in the big show I lost. Then that would be a lot more devastating. But it's good to get it out of the way now, because you figure you go back to the drawing board, what I did wrong. This is what I did wrong. I could have did this better, this and that. So it's actually fighting Lozano again doesn't make a difference. It really doesn't matter to me.
I heard rumors that they tried to set that match up again, and he didn't want it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much sure, because if you've seen the fight, I mean, I destroyed the kid the first 2 minutes. He was bleeding, I was just smiling. Yeah, he did catch me with a knee, which was his luckiest knee in his entire career. You know, so what can you say? I mean, the kid's a great fighter. You know, he's 3-1 as well too. I can't take nothing away from the kid. Have all respect for every fighter out there. But I mean, the reality is, if you've seen the fight, I was dominating the whole aspect of the game. So
absolutely, I didn't think it was going to change at all. And then he threw the knee. So what did you learn from the loss?
I learned that you know, keep your head up. that's for sure. Especially actually, you know, in that aspect, you know, I rushed in on the kid, and he put his knee up, and I kind of ran into his knee myself. So it's basically just, you know, game planning. If I ever get up and you're tired, you get in a scramble, you think your heart rate's too high, sit back, relax, let the kid come to you. Especially if you win the fight, let them come to you. That's the aspect. You know, you're winning the whole fight, let them come to you. You're the better fighter. You gotta let people start coming to you now and figure out what your game plan is and go off their mistakes and capitalize on it. So
you brushed that loss off.
Yes.
You jumped right back in the cage. Arthur Parker at the last Matrix. You tap him with a rear naked choke. You're right back in that win column. Then you won a decision against a very tough Tuan Pham. I mean,
very tough. Yes.
He wouldn't go away.
That kid was he wouldn't. I had every submission hold, every triangle, every rear naked choke, every elbow, every fist to the face, every slam, every suplex, and everything.
How hard is it to stay patient in a cage when you're doing everything you're supposed to do? You're winning the fight, but nothing is stopping this dude. Like, how hard is it to remain patient?
It is very tough, very tough. Especially mentally, it's probably the toughest thing to do. Especially you have every submission hold, every choke hold, every body lock on the dude. He's not stopping. I mean, it was more. You know, don't get me wrong. It's tired for him as well too, but it's also frustrating for me because I'm hitting him, punching him, doing everything I can to stop this kid. And he wasn't breaking. He's been around for a very long time. He's been fighting before I even thought about fighting. So it's, you know, the kid's he's been around forever. So.
It's got to be annoying when a guy's got a body lock on you, and he's just punching you in the back of the head. And I mean, you did that for a
good about 12 minutes. About 12 minutes the whole fight. So yeah.
Tuan Pham will not die.
No, he's a tough guy. That's why we took that fight, because we wanted to see, you know, put Matt with a tougher guy. You know, see what he does against him. And like I said, Pham's been around for a long time. He's a veteran of the sport. He's fought a lot of tough dudes. If you look at his record, his losses are from tough guys. He's not, you know, don't ever look past a ton for sure. And you know, we got that fight offer. It was like, you know, had to take the fight, you know, just to see what Matt was made of. To be honest.
Is it Ton? I've been fucking his name up. I don't know why I'm putting.
I believe it's Ton. Yeah.
I think it's Ton. Yeah.
All right. Well, Ton is a tough dude. So now you're 4-1 pro, right?
Yes, sir.
That's an excellent record. You're knocking at the door of the big leagues. I know you're already on Bellator's radar. You had a fight, the rematch with Lozano, right? Set up until you hurt yourself?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, he didn't take the fight actually.
Okay.
We said yes. He said no. I was actually supposed to fight a Julio Arce actually.
Which is another extremely tough dude.
The Bellator fight was originally when Sam Kaplan called us. It was to fight Lozano. You know, like I said, we're not sure what happened after that. But he called us again. It was to fight Andrew Leone. And then Andrew Leone had to cancel the fight. And then we had Julio Arce. So we had like 3 opponents for Bellator. And like I said, you know, I'm not sure what happened with Andrew. I'm not sure what happened with Lozano. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're going to fight Julio Arce. And that's when Matt actually suffered a broken orbital bone in training. So we actually couldn't fight for him.
So Julio Arce, extremely tough dude. That's the type of caliber fighters you're going to get now. You're not going to get any more like 8-8 guys or anything like that. It sounds like to me that you guys, you know, you're pretty much gearing up for the big leagues. You know the tough guys are coming in. You're ready to fight these guys. You're not ducking anybody.
No, not at all.
Everyone's goal seems to be the UFC. Is that what you're aiming for now?
Oh yes, of course. I mean, the ultimate goal is, you know, take care of myself, take care of my family. And the UFC does knock, and I make awesome money, awesome fame from that. Yeah, we're definitely strive to become the best world fighter in the whole world. That's for sure.
You guys just went out to the UFC tryouts. What was that like?
Oh, it was amazing, man. It was probably one of the best times of my life. It was tons of people, over 350 people trying out for a 135-pound show. So it was actually pretty good. Very interesting to see what talent levels around the whole country. Never seen. You know, we're only on the East Coast, and we travel out to the West Coast, and it's totally different from the East. So,
are there other Matt Rizzos out there, or you feel like you got an edge on some of these guys?
There has to be. I guess there has to be other Matt Rizzos out there for sure. Do I have an edge? I believe so.
Let me shout out your coaches and your training partners. Dave Reef Snyder, John Swangler. John is a prototype. He's as good an example of a fighter being way better than their record as I ever seen. John will fight anyone, anywhere. He was holding his own against Baby Hercules, one of the hardest hitting guys in our area. I can't think of anyone pound for pound that hits harder than Baby Hercules. And then he got caught. Will we see John back in the cage soon?
We're going to try to get John back in the cage right now. John is one of my, like I said, he's my right-hand man. Dave's my left-hand man when it comes down to coaching. These guys they play an important role with the fighters. If the right fight comes for John, we're definitely going to take it. John early in his career, he didn't have good management, didn't have good training. His coaches would let him take any fight. I mean, if you look at his record, he's fighting guys he should never fought. He's fighting 205. John's at 170 pounder. And when that kind of stuff happens, early in your career, you're young. He was a real young kid. He thought his coach was doing the right thing for him, but they were setting him up. And it's you look at his record, it's a shame because when you see John in the training room, the kid's good. He's really good. And right now it's 0-7 record. But like I said, we're gonna keep looking. John trains every day. John's, like I said, John's in there coaching the guys. He's basically our Muay Thai instructor. He's with the guys all the time too. So, and like if I could find a fight for him, and it's the right fight for John to step back in the cage and get that W, what he deserves to, because he definitely puts the time in for it. For sure.
I'm not bullshitting, like I'm not putting wind in his sails, but I wouldn't be surprised if John flipped it and won 7 straight. He hits so damn hard. Now that he's with you, he's more well-rounded. John's a problem. If you can't get John down and you stand in front of John when he's striking, John's gonna fuck you up. He's gonna break something.
He's good, man. His wrestling's coming along real well. His jiu-jitsu's getting real good. Like I said, man, he trains every day now, man. He's with the right people now. We care about, like I care about these guys' careers, man. We just don't take fights, just for freaking $500. You're not making a career that way. $500 is nothing when you look at it.
Right.
All these guys, they want to fight, but when they talk numbers, it's like, listen, you're not making a career on the local circuit. You got to fight the fight. You make your career when you get to UFC, you get to the bigger leagues, Bellator. This kind of stuff, doesn't really bother us. So if someone offers us, a good fight, John's gonna take it.
Good. Dave Reef Snyder, another tough dude. He's always in the gym. He's always training. He's always doing his thing. He seems to be a full martial artist. He's not just a BJJ guy. He trains his ass off. What is he? He's a purple belt now?
He's a pro belt, yep. 4-degree pro belt.
How come Dave Reef never took a fight?
Dave's what's it, man. Dave's a real family man, stuff like that. When he's not at the gym, he's with his family. He works a lot. He's a union man. So if he knows for a fact that he wanted to take a fight, he had to give 100% dedication. And he knows right now, at this point in his life, he can't give 100% dedication to a training camp. And you know what? I respect that more than anything because he knows more than anyone can say. Oh, take a fight. You're gonna fight your chumps. And MMA, it does it. When people call other fighters chumps, it's disrespectful because those guys are training too. So he knows for a fact that if he's gonna fight, he has to give 100% because the guy's gonna fight is giving 100%.
Right.
So at this time of Dave's life right now, Dave's an awesome jiu-jitsu guy. He is like one of our major coaches. So he sticks with jiu-jitsu and he really works for that, man.
Matt's hands have gotten way better recently, especially in the Tawn fam fight. Tawn fam. I keep fucking that up. I hope Tawn's not listening. Is that all due to Joe Costa, bringing him on?
Yes, very much, yes. And John Swangler as well, too.
Costa and Swangler?
Yes.
Does anyone under 130 scare you in the local area? Well, I shouldn't say scary.
I mean, every fighter has a decent background of you can do anything to you, So you got to be well confident what you can do and how you can stop their offense, What do they say? What's that saying? The best defense is a good offense, right?
Right.
So that's what it's all about.
Anthony, what about you? You're a BJJ black belt. People say you're extremely fast, strong, technical on the ground. Guys that have rolled with you say that you're very fast for your size. Have you ever seriously considered getting in a cage or daydreamed for a little bit?
Definitely was. Younger, you do a couple smokers back in the day. When you're younger and stuff like that. But for me, it's more about coaching, training jiu-jitsu right now. I have twins right now. I have a twin boy and a girl. My life's pretty hectic right now. With 3 other businesses besides my academy going on. For me to actually dedicate myself to 100% training camp, to know that, put myself to that physical, pain every day and stuff like that, I don't have the time for that right now. But do I put the time in with the guys? I'm there, you know. I'm at the gym 6 days a week with these guys. At this point, plus I'm gonna be 34 years old this year. For me, stepping in the cage at 34, I think my wife would want to kill me.
Probably definitely kill him.
Yeah. So my goal is what's saying, you know, I focus on my fighters who I have coming out of there. And like I said, I train every day with these guys. I'm on the mat every day, blood, sweat, and tears with these guys. You know, pushing myself to the breaking point. And just for me to go for a training camp, it probably wouldn't be a good idea right now. Just like I said, my wife would probably kill me first and foremost.
$100 grand right now. Dana White offers you $100,000. Let's say he offers you $140, so he can pay the tax on your $100,000. Okay. Do you fight Junior Dos Santos in a month?
In a month?
6 months.
6 months for $100,000.
100 G's.
I'd fight him.
I know you fight. You fight him next week,
I'd
right?
fight him tomorrow.
Listen, my specialty is not stand up, so I would have to get him to the ground as quick as possible. You know, he's a good jiu-jitsu guy too. For $100,000 though, I'm stepping in the cage.
Little groin tap and take him to the floor.
And that shows Anthony's mindset. In a hypothetical situation, he's already thinking strategy, taking him down.
Have to.
So you spar with the guys every day. Anyone ever catch you and put you to sleep or anything?
Never got put to sleep. You know, like I said, Sam's style my game. You know, when these guys strike me, it's what's I want to go to the ground pretty quick. So it's get them to the ground and get on top, play my top game with them.
It's more like get off me, please.
Yeah. So Matt, I'll tell you, you know, I beat them up pretty much every day. But you know,
Sucks.
It's they never, you know, I definitely watch it now. I can't mess around. I can't like joke around. I have to work hard because if I mess around and joke around with them, you know, they're gonna catch me. And you know, my goal as a coach is if they're catching me, I'm doing my job.
Right. So on the side you have A&M Cosmetics. You pretty much make cars look like they just rolled off the showroom floor. You got scratches out of my wife's minivan and hooked me up with a sweet deal on tires, which I think I need again before we go on vacation. The people listening could give a fuck about that. You're in hooker heaven every day down Erie and Tarsdale. What are some of the funny things you see working down there?
Oh, man.
You're going there, huh?
It's, now that what's name school's out, you know, it's pretty much fights every day down under the L. It's
You ever see Circus?
Yeah.
Exactly what it's like.
It's more like a reality TV show down there every day. You know, there's at least 2 or 3 fights a day. It's stuff that you don't see on a daily basis. You know, you see people rolling down with electric wheelchairs with systems on it.
Nice.
It's one of the funniest things you see. I mean, it's.
It gives you more respect for your life right now and going down there, see what those people go through, and you come home and actually, you know, you actually appreciate more what you have and stuff like that for sure.
As a fighter, knowing that you'll fuck someone up with your MMA skills, would you fight a dope fiend? I wouldn't do it personally.
No, never. Never. I have never, since I've been fighting, never stepped outside the local scene to a bar and try to fight anybody. I mean, if it becomes life or death, hands down, I'm killing him. But that doesn't make, you know, it doesn't have...
But if an Erie and Tarsdale dope fiend shoves Matt Rizzo walking down the street, do you take that chance of splitting somebody's lip and getting some of that blood in you or
You just
something?
laugh at him.
Okay.
You walk away from it.
You just laugh and walk away. You don't want to get involved with that, you know, especially down there. You never know.
So all
Most of
dope
them are
fiends, if you want to impress your girlfriends, shove Matt Rizzo next time. He's not going to beat you up. All right, Anthony, name 3 local fighters outside of your camp that are good enough right now to be in the UFC.
I would definitely say Sean Santella. You know, he's fighting out of Jersey a lot, 125er. Kid's talented. You know, I watch him a lot. Just, you know, eventually, you know, if he doesn't make the UFC, Matt will fight him probably one day. So I've been watching his career.
What do you think of Julio Arce?
Julio Arce is good, man. Is
the UFC good?
I be honest with you, he has 2 pro fights right now. He had 11 amateur fights. You know, time's gonna tell. You know, he's gonna fight some guys who have good ground game, stuff like that. You know, kind of go from there with it, and you see what the kid's made of. Do I think he's good? His hands and all. I think his hands are excellent, man. He has good hands, good Muay Thai, good boxing, and you know, I think he needs more time on the pro scene to see where he goes.
What's going on with Grayson? Grayson's always at your gym. He's always training hard. He's young. He's starting to get older now. Is Grayson going to get in the cage soon?
Yeah, you know, that's the goal with him. He's been with me since he's 12 years old. You know, he's going to be 16 years old now. The kid's actually not even like joking around. He actually is a phenom. He's actually one of Matt's like main training partners. The kid's jiu-jitsu, his stand-up, it's really good, man. The kid is like, he's grooming into a good fighter. He's grooming into a mixed martial arts. He came in with nothing, knowing nothing. He came in just, you know, kid's class, 12 years old. The kid sprouted up to freaking 6 foot and before he was like 13 years old. And he catches on so quick, man. I really enjoy coaching him, man, because I see him growing into something great, and he's a hard worker. He's always there for the team. The kid never misses a fight. No matter what, if Matt needs something or Justin, let's go. Any guy, any of the fighters at school need anything, he's the first one. Like, oh, I'll be here tomorrow morning to meet you guys. And it's funny because he's getting his first cauliflower right now.
Oh, nice.
Welcome to the team.
So it's watching cauliflower grow. He's all excited about it because now
he's looking like me.
If you look at cauliflower ear as MMA fighter, it's kind of like a trophy. It's like you basically. You won, man. Cauliflower ear is cool for a lot of guys, and I think he's loving that fact right now. He's walking around about to be 16 years old. Nice cauliflower ear.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, he had it actually. I started mine probably going to my sophomore year, so he got it at the same time I got it. So.
You gotta earn that.
Yeah, I earned it pretty good. I got beat up every day of my life. So.
That's the MMA equivalent to teardrop tattoos, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, exactly right.
We just brought up Justin Lesko. He's a beast. He's still an AMI, but I know you have big plans for him. He always gets a pop from the crowd. He never disappoints the fans. Very, very exciting fighter. Everything from the introductions to a stare down with his opponent, and then he comes out there and he bangs. What's next for Justin?
Justin right now, he's going to do a few more amateur fights ground pound wise. And the reason I wanted to do that is just to basically test the waters a little bit. He came in really green, man. He's only been training with us for a year and a half. He's only been training, a year and a half with us. He had about 6 months prior before he came to us. He was from Florida. Now he's just I want to get the taste of ground and pound. So right now we just actually switched his training up to basically the pro rules, to where now he's on the ground. Now he's getting punched in the face.
Right.
And it's a whole different ball game. You're getting punched in the face now on the ground. You can't do the same moves you did as an amateur. You don't have to worry about you can just basically sit up and you weren't getting punched. So now he has to test the waters, and he's a great, he's another dedicated guy, always there, always willing to learn. Just does what he's told, does extra on the side, and so we're gonna keep going with him and see where it takes him. I want him to do at least 3 more amateur fights ground and pound wise, just to get the time on the mat, time in the cage. All these people jump pro, like I said earlier. When you jump pro, you can't go back, so you have to.
You get hurt really bad too, as well.
You have to watch him. You have to see what you're made of. So if he gets in there, he gets his first 2 fights, the ground and pound. He decides he doesn't like it. It's amateur fights. It's no big deal. You walk in, he moves on. He works for a bank. He's a banker. So at the end of the day, he has a good job.
Okay. He just lost to that armbar at the last Extreme Cage Combat. It looked tight to me sitting at cage side. The guy, he had his full body into it, and it didn't look like there was really a way out. I'm a fan. You're a coach. Was that a good stoppage?
No, the referee. I think that referee is very green. I think he needs to be really looked at as a referee, because I watched him every time I watch this guy fight. He's gonna get people hurt, especially in the amateur ground and pound wise, because he doesn't know when to stop the fight. He doesn't know what positions people are in, and that's hard, man. It's because if you're a referee, at least be familiar with the sport. At least be familiar with the positions.
Right.
And I feel like if you looked at Justin's arm, if you look at it, I'm sitting right next to him with my side of the cage. Justin's arm was turned.
Oh, okay.
So there's no leverage to actually pop it. And the guy was just making with his grunts and screams and stuff like that, like the guy was. The referee makes you guys are really working for it. But when the arm's turned, the guy can't pop the elbow out. The arm bar's not there.
Right.
So that's why Justin popped out right away and was like, "What are you doing?" Referee's telling me that the arm is going to break, and if he understood jiu-jitsu, he would see if the arm is bent and the elbow's out of the way, he's not breaking the arm. All the guy was doing was, putting a good little acting part on, doing a little it's breaking. It's like,
oh, he was saying it?
Well, that's what. Yeah, he was just making the sounds. He was like, "Look at his arm, look at his arm," and it's like, look at his arm. He's like, "There's nothing on it. His arm's not even moving." So, but Justin, it was good for Justin. It's Justin's fault for getting that position. He was already out. We look at it as, like I said, the kid won, and we move on from there. When people kept telling him, "Oh, the kid got lucky," You know what though? The kid trained for the fight. I'm not gonna take away from the kid. He won the fight. Justin made a mistake. He lost that mistake, so now he knows next fight, I can't mess around. I can't joke around with these people. I have to be serious, and I have to worry about winning the fight, not just going out there putting a show on. Because at the end of the day, no one cares how you won. It's a matter of you win.
That's true.
So,
Ben Askren will tell you that.
yep.
So a Naga ref doesn't stop that fight.
No, not at all. Because in order to watch him for MMA or Jiu-Jitsu, either a verbal tap or a physical tap, which Justin made neither.
Okay.
And that's what kind of upset me a little bit about it. And it's if Justin would have screamed, if you look at Justin's face, you watch the tape, Justin's just kind of sitting there looking at the guy, not making a noise at all, and his face is the same face, just talking to him. And there was no physical tap. So for the referee to stop that fight, I think he needs to learn position training, stuff like that. Just go to a jiu-jitsu class for a day and figure out what an armbar is and figure out what a guillotine, stuff like that.
All right, we're going to take our second break with the Revolution Boys, Anthony and Matt Rizzo. We'll be right back.
Yeah! Let's go! Boy, I lay it mad. I'm razor sharp. You see me coming for your head, I'ma take it off. I lay it mad. You got to take a loss. You see me coming for your head, I'ma take it off. I break 'em up. I'm razor sharp.
Broadcasting live from the penthouse atop Center City's largest skyscraper. Or, better yet, live from a converted tool shed in Levittown, Pennsylvania. It's Sitdown Radio with your host, Mike Bicky.
All right, we're back with the Revolution Boys, Anthony Colantuono, black belt owner of Revolution, Matt Razor Sharp Rizzo, 4-1 professional fighter.
Yes, sir.
Back to you, Matt. You say you fight for three things. I got this out of an article online. For the competition, for your family, and finally, there's nothing better than punching someone in the face. You have a great stare down. You're full of intensity before and after the fight. Your opponent can't even get a handshake at weigh-ins.
No, never.
You never touch gloves before a fight.
Uh-uh.
Is that rage real, or are you just trying to scare your opponent?
No, I learned that from my former teammate, Johannes. He told me from the very beginning, the guy in the cage is not your friend. He's your enemy, so, we don't want to show no respect to him at all. Definitely, when the fight's over, you show all respect you want in the beginning. It's lock and load time, so.
Let's talk family.
Yes.
Your parents are at every fight. I always
Yes.
see your dad and mom.
Mm-hmm.
What's worst case and best case scenarios? Meaning, you win a fight. How proud are your parents to see you in that cage with your hands raised, and how scared are you that you might get hurt one day in front of your parents?
I've been hurt. Like I said, I've been wrestling since age 4 years old, so I've been competing at the highest level, competed with the best wrestlers in the world. I competed with Jordan Burroughs, Coleman Scott. These guys are two-time Olympians, gold medalists, Olympians medalists. So I've competed at the highest level of wrestling. And if I get hurt in front of them, it's not more like, it's what my dad's going to say afterwards, really.
Right.
He picks me apart. It's unbelievable what he says and stuff like that. Even I win a fight, he still says, "Oh, you could have done this better. You
So
should
your
have
dad
done that
knows the
better."
game?
He's been around since I've been wrestling since age 4 years old. I'm 27 now, so he's been around. We've been around the best talent in the world wrestling. So we know MMA is not just the world round as well too. Wrestling's been here way before MMA has been.
Right.
So we've been around. They've been around since day one. Since I ever started my whole career, since age 4 years old. So they know what good competition is and who sucks, hands down. So.
So I also read that your parents would drive you to wrestling tournaments around the country.
Everywhere. My parents, they took me.
Colorado and New Mexico?
Oh, I've been everywhere. Colorado. I wrestled for PA national team, Jersey national team.
In a car?
Car. Yes, we
They
drove all the way down to Tennessee. We never flew because
Wow.
at that point in time, we didn't really have much money in our life. So my dad worked long hours, long days. My dad's an electrician. So usually just me and my mother drove everywhere. She took me to wrestling tournaments every Saturday, Sunday. We competed with the best, man.
How long does it take you to get to Colorado by car?
28 hours actually took us.
Straight through?
Straight through. No, not straight through. We stopped a couple times, but just give bathroom breaks and stuff like that at the point in time. Now, since I got older, when I was older, 18, 17, 16, I could drive, so I actually had to switch and stuff like that. But we drove everywhere, man. We competed at the biggest tournaments in the world and in the nation.
That's love. No
Yes.
wonder you want to make
That's
some
why
money.
that's why I'm here for my myself only, but really to take care of my family. So
I hate driving. If my daughter was Miley Cyrus and she had a show for $100,000, I'm not driving further than like Oxford Valley Mall.
yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, they actually, we had no other choice. Like I said before, we ain't the richest family in, suburbs and stuff like that. So we had to do what we had to do. And for me to compete and be good at the highest level, we had to compete these competitions.
Right.
So they took me there, and sometimes my father couldn't come, and people asked me, "Where's your coach at?" And my mom's sitting in the corner. You don't realize my mom knows more wrestling than more mixed martial arts than anybody and I ever knew. She picks me apart just like my father does. So, yeah.
Anthony has twins, a boy and a girl. What's the best thing about being a father? And could you ever let either of your twins get into a cage?
You know, my son's at the gym pretty much every day. You know, he loves it there. You know, I'm not gonna push him towards MMA but as a father, as a jiu-jitsu basically person, both my kids will be trained to at least get their blue belt for self-defense. That's kind of mandatory in my household. If they choose not to do it after that, that's fine. But they're gonna get to at least their blue belt doing their self-defense part of it. Best part of being a father, man, is just waking up every day. They're in my face, wake up, dad, give me kisses and stuff like that when I get home from work, seeing them. It was kind of like the emptiness, something missing in my heart, man. Now they're here, and it's like the best feeling in the world, man. I can't even. It's hard to describe. It's just when I see them every day, it's like I have a bad day at work. I come home and they're just like wanting to play and stuff like that. Give me kisses, hugs, and stuff like that. That to me is the best part of being a father.
What's the worst part about being a father? Didn't your kids break shit like my kids? Didn't they break a big screen or something like that with a broom handle or something?
Yeah, my kid. What's in, man? They're in that destructive stage right now where they're pretty much breaking everything they can, and putting dents in my wife's refrigerator, her oven and stuff like that. Just destroying stuff. So I guess the worst part is having to replace everything as a father, because it's like we just get something new and then boom, it's broke again. It's like, oh man, it's coming out of your college fund, kid.
My kids used to put bologna slices in the PS3, and
oh man,
it's ridiculous. Matt, if this was 1991 and MMA was just starting like it did UFC 1, 2, 3, would you, in order to prove yourself as a fighter, would you fight a 700-pound Emmanuel Yarborough for the ring?
Of course, yes.
Would you really?
Oh yeah, I know advantages of how to beat bigger guys like that, take his knee out real quick, that kind of aspect. Like back in the day, there was no rules.
Right.
You could pull hair, punch eyes, and stuff like that. So one little groin shot to the groin, and he'd go into the floor, and I'm on him like a spider monkey.
Keith Hackney had to drop him with the chop. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
All right, so call out clock. 30 seconds to call anybody you want out. Is there anybody you like to call out? Could be anyone from a fighter to the ice cream guy didn't come down your block yesterday, whatever.
To be honest with you, I just want to fight the best in the world. I believe I am one of the best in the world. And if anyone wants to step in a cage with me, please sign a contract and let's do it. Don't run your mouth. Step in a cage. I don't run my mouth ever. I do my talking in the cage. So
you'll fight anybody right now locally?
Yes, and hands down, in the world too.
Yeah, but from a business standpoint, some of these fights, like you and Julio Arce, that's a Bellator level fight.
Oh, that's why we have managers and coaches.
Okay.
They take care of everything. Anthony's my manager, coach as well too, trainer. He take care of what I need to be and what we get the right fights for us right now. Me and him are one of the top dogs in the local area. Should we fight each other? I mean, yeah, everybody wants to see it, but they're gonna have to pay for it too as well.
Right. You don't fight Julio for like 4 and 4.
No,
that's Bellator money.
That's like 10 grand each.
Okay.
Yeah, easily. And we're trying to make a career for ourselves, and it would be smart for us to fight each other. Probably not, because we're both trying to get to the same level. We fight two different weight classes. I'm a 25er, he's a 35er. Would I fight him? No doubt about it. Any time of the day. Like I said, I'm from Levittown, suburbs of Philadelphia. I don't need to fight in a cage, but that's what it comes down to. We're trying to be a career, and who wants to fight? I'll fight the baddest person in the world. It doesn't make a difference. And if the Silva wants it, we'd get it all day.
Anybody ever? When's the last time you were really tested in public?
I roll with some big guys. So, I mean, they don't really come to me ever. I'm the smallest guy in my group, so they usually take the bigger guys to mess with them first. So I'm always,
You ever had a situation in Wawa or something? Someone gets
never.
in your face? Really?
Actually, never in my life. Actually, no.
Really?
I mean, college a couple times, stuff like that. They did test the waters because you got a bunch of drunk kids running around. But other than that, no test the waters. Now, since MMA is well round, they see your eyes, they see your face and stuff like that, and your ears. They want no part of it.
Yeah, so, I'm not pushing anyone with a cauliflower ear.
No, not at all. It'd be a worse mistake.
All right, let's play a round of chillax, tap, or pimp slap.
And now it's time for chillax, tap, or pimp slap. Chillax, meaning you can hang out with anybody in history. Tap, meaning you apply an incredibly painful submission until you feel like letting go. And pimp slap, meaning, well, a good old 70s fly guy Dolomite pimp slap square in their fucking face.
One person I would love to slap the shit out of. Let me think for a second. Actually, I'm not quite sure. I mean, I really don't dislike anybody. One person I would like to hang out with. I mean, man, that's tough.
You're single. That could be a chick.
Yeah, it could be. Oh, there's a couple girls I would love to. The girl from Four Brothers. I don't know. Oh, she's amazingly hot. I'd love to hang out with her, tap that, and slap that, and a couple of times back and forth.
Pound for pound, is she hotter? Who's hotter than Mila Kunis right now?
She's probably is. I'm not really a fan
You
of
got
that.
her number one?
I mean, she's not number one, but I like the Spanish women. You know, I like
Yeah.
the big booties, big titties, the whole kind of deal like that.
Absolutely.
And Mila Kunis, she's cute, but she doesn't. I like thick. I'm skinny. I'm skinny, so I can't. You know.
She's got a great face, but
bone on bone
like
hurts, man. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. All right, Anthony, who would you like to tap right now? I mean, you're a friendly dude. Is there anyone you would really like to armbar until you felt like letting go? That referee, perhaps, from...
that referee, I wouldn't want to put him in an armbar. I'd like to put him in a choke, I don't want to hurt him. Just put him out for a little bit, let him know, like, when he wakes up, give him a whole course.
Well, that armbar might be an introduction to how it's really done and how it hurts.
I'm trying to think, man. Anyone,
I would like to choke out Anthony Colantuono, my coach here.
Have you ever tapped Anthony?
No, not at all, actually.
Really?
He beats me up every day. It sucks.
Matt Rizzo's a brown belt, and he still hasn't choked out his coach.
No, that's one person I like to choke. We go at it every day, so...
So next for you guys, title defense, Extreme Cage Combat. You're fighting Raymond Yanez from Ohio.
Yes.
Are we going to see classic Matt Rizzo ass whooping, ground and pound?
That's exactly what we do, man. We don't change the game plan. Yeah, we do have game plans for every opponent we fight, and that's what we do. I don't shy away from anything, any competition. I go right through it, and if he has an arsenal, we're gonna blow right through it. So it doesn't make a difference.
What about them hands? We gonna see some hands?
Depends. It depends. I mean, like you said, last fight, Tom Fan came at me. It was surprising. I thought we were gonna stand up the whole time, but he actually came at me. So he did the bad mistake for coming at me, which is you're coming to my world. My world is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu grappling. And am I a world-class wrestler? Yes, but I believe my Jiu-Jitsu game is three times better now. I have won big tournaments around the country so far, and I believe I'm one of the best Jiu-Jitsu athletes out there. I still compete in Jiu-Jitsu tournaments, and I win them. So.
Will we ever see a Matt Rizzo head kick KO?
It's gonna come.
You never know, man.
It's gonna come. I've been working on it. I'm tall, lean. I'm actually a lot taller than all my opponents. So when I throw my kicks, they're a lot higher. But like I said, these fighters don't do enough terminology, and they come to me, which is their fault.
They try to take you down.
Yeah, I don't understand why, but I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Well, I want to wish Matt Rizzo success and in his next fight. Anthony Colantuono runs Revolution. Great guy to learn jiu-jitsu off of. If you want to see what happens when a person in prime physical shape with more than 20 years of martial arts experience gets in a cage with a guy from Ohio, check out Extreme Cage Combat's Vendetta, July 26th at the Armory at Southampton and the Boulevard in Philly, Northeast Philly. Tickets are cheap as hell, $40 for general admission, or if you want to be close enough to feel the breeze of this Ohio guy's hand when he taps, it's only $5 more, $45 for cage side. Go to www.extremecagecombat.com for ticket information. To train under Anthony Colantuono, go to www.revolutionacademy.net. Anthony has a very friendly school. He's got an awesome kids program. All of his instructors are always wonderful, always accessible for help. And you won't have that white belt for long. You'll be learning a lot of interesting things. For dip that's so fucking good you'll pull money out of your mortgage account, go to www.realdips.com. Anything you guys would like to shout out?
I did want to give a shout out to our sponsors who have been with us for a long time. Dead Serious Fight Gear, National Sevens Company, FLP, Fast Life Productions, Mike Bickens for sure. Mike always help us out with logos, t-shirts, stuff like that. I really appreciate that. Just all our students, man, all our training partners, the coaches. Like I said, man, Revolution Academy, it's just not myself. I'm building it with a team of guys, man. To be successful in business, you have to have a team behind you. And that's how I look at with every business I start. I make sure, I have successful people around me to make myself successful. And You know, we're doing that there at the Revolution Academy. We're producing awesome fighters, awesome jiu-jitsu guys. Our kids program is awesome. And, you know, I can't thank enough to everyone who's actually involved with that, because without everyone there, the Revolution Academy isn't Revolution Academy.
Matt, if you don't shout out your mom, I'm going there because those 22-hour or 28-hour
Yes,
drives.
So shout out to my mother and my father. You know, they've been there from day one. Love you guys. I want to shout out also Pete Rock and Webb for the local barbers here. We get the freshest cuts around. If you don't have a barber around a local town, trust me, they'll take care of you. Shout out my teammates, John Swangler, Dave Reesnyder, Justin Lesko, Justin Dalton, Grayson, everybody else that trains Revolution Academy, all my friends, my family, you know, they're a big support of me. And let's keep on moving up the ranks and let's get the world title. So,
all right, thanks for coming, Anthony Colantuono, Matt Razor Sharp Rizzo, Revolution Academy. Today's lesson: don't fuck with suburb kids.
yes, sir.
Thanks for having us, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.